From way downtown Phoenix, welcome to the CTS Sports Podcast. I'm Caleb Bushy, being joined here once again by Franklin Miller and Sam Valenti. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Last week, Sam pulled off the impossible magic take here with the Bears, as the Chicago Bears in poor field conditions were able to pull off the win against Trey Lance in the 49ers, 19-10. The Niners picked up more first downs than the Bears and converted 47% of their third down attempts, going 8 for 17. However, on the Bears side, Justin Fields threw for 2 second-half scores. Eddie Jackson set up a TD with an interception, and Chicago gave Matt Eberflus, I hope I'm pronouncing him right, a win in his head coaching debut. And of course, the highlight of the day was the whole slip and slide at Soldier Field. But what an interesting way to start the season off. Now, Franklin, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts as a Bay Area sports fan with this disappointment that this was supposed to be a game that the Niners were supposed to win? And I guess not even with Kittle out.
Yeah, so I ain't going front. It was an embarrassing loss. I feel like a lot of it came down to Niners being a little undisciplined. They had 12 penalties. A lot of them came in the second half. Dre Greenlaw had a unnecessary face mask when it was 3rd and 4, and we were up 10-0. And then after that, the floodgates just opened from there, literally, because it got even more wet as the game went on. The monsoon kicked in even more. But overall, I mean, I'm not really too concerned. I mean, week one's always a little funny, especially with preseason and everything and not a lot of players playing. But so I can see a lack of, like, kind of getting a little antsy with penalties and whatnot. I thought Trey Lance from a standpoint, he didn't play bad. He didn't play good. I would say it was a little bit of an uneven performance for him, which is expected for a quarterback that's still developing. But overall, I wouldn't say I'm very concerned. I would just say they really got to clean up penalties. I thought defense played pretty well outside of committing all those penalties. I thought the D-line controlled the game. Unfortunately, they had 2 busted coverages in the secondary, one by Tano Hufanga, who had a great game, and another, I believe, by Dre Greenlaw as well, that led to two touchdowns. But I give credit to Justin Fields. He kept his composure. He played very smart when it came to protecting himself and the ball in the second half, which led to those scores. And unfortunately, in my opinion, not to take anything away from the Bears, Niners for sure beat themselves to let the Bears run away with this. But on to next week to Seattle.
That's all I saw in the headlines in the first half. The Bears made so many mistakes that not even 5th graders make, yet somehow they got past the 49ers. I mean, this does not look like a good loss at least not a good start for the San Francisco team. But for a Bears team that has huge momentum going into this next week game against the Packers, this is definitely the momentum they need. Now, Sam, you predicted this last week, and I'll admit we totally discouraged you from making that pick, but you ended up standing by in it. And thank God you did, because they did pull off the impossible here. What are your thoughts after watching that performance at home at Soldier Field?
Well, it felt great. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. It felt great. It was great to win. It was a good, it was fun to win in week 1 at Soldier Field with all the rain pouring down. Everyone, everyone saw the viral thing of with the guys, sliding in the rain. Great to see Justin Fields, do that, and he's having a fun time. So as for my analysis of this one, in the first half, I was like, "Oh crap, here we go again with this freaking poverty franchise that drives me insane." I was like, "Oh man, okay, I'm not gonna watch a single other minute of this." And I was like, "Well, I guess my biased prediction was definitely wrong." I was prepared to come on here and be like, "Yeah, I screwed up." Okay. I was fully ready for that. And Fields didn't have a great first half. He threw a bad interception. And again, it was in the rain, but still, I thought that was a very, pretty bad move by him. It was not a good read. But then in the second half, something clicked with this team, and I think Eberflus did a good job making adjustments. And I think that Matt Nagy wouldn't have made those adjustments, personally, and I think that shows that we as Bear fans, for us, we can at least have some faith in this new coaching staff for now. And it was a great fun second half that we had. And Fields, what I was impressed with Fields was that he did screw up in the first half. And yes, the O-line was bad, so he wasn't getting a lot of time, but still, he didn't play well in the first half. What I was impressed by was the fact that he came out in the second half, he was much more confident, and he made some big plays. And that definitely gives me some confidence in Fields. Another thing, I was happy with Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert had a very good game. Honestly, I've been seeing some people maybe argue that perhaps Herbert could be making a case for RB1 over David Montgomery. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that situation. But it's good to get a win. And the problem is that we have the Packers coming up next, which is usually never fun for us, going up against Aaron Rodgers. And we're going to be playing a pissed off Aaron Rodgers, who's quite mad about how week one went. So, I've been seeing some people like, oh, we're going to crush the Packers. I'm like, I don't know about that, but it's good to get a win in week one. So I'll just say that. But Franklin, I'll admit, while I was watching it, I was feeling really bad for you, man. I was feeling for you, man. So
hey, man, it's all good. It's week one. These kind of stuff happen, and these kind of games happen. I'm not too concerned, like I said earlier, but it is what it is. You just got to move on. I think for the most part, there's a lot of good things. Well, there are a lot of bad things, but there is some good things that I saw that made me kind of go, okay, let me calm down here a little bit. But overall, yeah. And not to mention with the Bears Packers next week, hopefully it would be cool if you all beat the Packers because of what Aaron Rodgers said last year about owning the Bears.
Oh, yep.
I know every player on that team has not forgotten about that comment.
No.
They're going to come for that, but we shall see.
Oh gosh, that would be interesting. But it is a slow start. But if you think about it, a bunch of big postseason teams last year had a slow start to start the regular season. The LA Rams were in that same boat, and the Niners as well. And it was shocking that both the Rams and Niners ended up going to the NFC Championship. Nobody could have predicted that in like the first 2 weeks of the regular season. Mm-hmm. So it is completely normal, but still unacceptable to have a performance like that if you are the Niners. Still a lot of improvement to do. But, speaking of week one, the Cardinals, as we kind of all saw coming, sadly, got destroyed by the Kansas City Chiefs at home. But not only that, Kyler Murray, Stafford, Prescott, Wilson, Burrow, and Tannehill, all these are star quarterbacks, played terribly in week one. And it's maybe just an opening season slump. I have no idea. But one thing's for sure, they did not play in the preseason. These teams thought it was a better idea to just rest and not let them play until week one. And I think it is officially backfired. And I've said this last week, this whole preseason was a complete waste of time. They shouldn't have done this because overall your team is you won't even get to see how your team is really performing. So you're just basically using the rookies and all that, and it didn't work. And now, we'll look at this stat. The 11 quarterbacks combined for a 86.1 passer rating, 6 yards per attempt, and a touchdown to interception ratio of 1.38. And those were steep drop-offs from the 2021 numbers when those quarterbacks posted a 100 rating and averaged 7 yards per attempt. So I think it has officially backfired. You don't rest your QBs in the preseason. You'll never get to see what they're capable of. It's just a waste of time. You might as well just not have them practice during training camp the whole leading up to the season. So this was not a good strategy by these teams. I mean, if it's one team doing it, I think it's okay. But when you got everybody doing it like it's the main trend, it's not going to work. So what are your guys' thoughts about this? Do you guys think resting the quarterback was a good idea or not? So
I'll say this, Caleb. I think there's pros and cons to it. I think a lot of it has to do with more so game time reps and like play and like game speed out on the field. That's what preseason I feel like helps with more than anything. Because a lot of the things that preseason games do that are similar to kind of joint practices is a lot of their game plans are vanilla. A lot of the coaches want them to kind of do a specific thing so they can practice. So the way I kind of look at preseason is similar to how they view joint practices, which is why I'm more of a fan of joint practices against other teams. But I know one thing that preseason helps with quarterbacks per se is getting used to that game speed right out the gate, especially after a long off season. It's not that they forgot to play or anything like that. It's just you got to get momentum in that going. But what these teams are kind of hoping for is to get the rust off a little bit early and hope for a mid to late season push for their teams to be ready for when their go time is in the playoffs. Now that could be a little tricky because usually there's only like, I would say 17, 18 games. So like every game is kind of important. But similar to like last year, it's like Packers lost week 1. Aaron Rodgers looked god awful and he ended up winning MVP. So it's like you got your pros and cons with it. And you factor in, do you want your players hurt? There's that instance where preseason a meaningless game. So it's like, I mean, the way I see it, I don't really have a problem with what these quarterbacks are doing. If it's going for like, the first 5 weeks of the season, then we really have a situation going on. But after week 1, it's not too crazy, especially with like past history with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and
but we were talking about this like with the week 1 matchups, just to, like, if you can describe how it was, it did feel like the preseason. This didn't really feel like real football at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've thought of this for the last few years, man. Preseason, I mean, week 1 is literally an extra preseason game. I've always felt that. I'm pretty sure players and coaches feel the same way. You're kind of adjusting to how the season's going. You're kind of adjusting. Now, a lot of people don't really know what team is what because every team is totally different coming into the next year. So you're kind of figuring things out still. That's why a lot of people don't really take preseason seriously. A lot of people don't play their players because they treat the first few weeks of the season as their preseason. And that's a little arrogant. I ain't going front, but that's how confident they are in their ball clubs. So it's like, I don't know. I'm on the mindset it's not a huge deal. It gets really bad if they're still struggling midway through the season. Then it's like, okay, practice habits need to be better, as Cliff Kingsbury would say.
Well, like I said, and I've said this before, they need to change up the preseason, at least probably do more joint practices and shorten the preseason entirely because it's just not worth it anymore. And I'm sure Kyle Shanahan would agree with that. So absolutely. Sam, your thoughts?
Yeah, Franklin, I'm definitely in agreement with you here. I think it's too early to like really tell if this like stuff has really any major effect. Really, I again, it's week 1. So I don't think it's that big of a deal personally. I mean, I can definitely see the benefits of maybe if you give like a quarterback, like give him some reps in the preseason, start him out for like a quarter a game or whatnot, or maybe even a half. But I don't think that this stuff is going to have a major effect on any of these guys' seasons, to be honest, personally.
I don't know. I mean, you look at Justin Herbert and the Chargers last season, and every game counted. They needed to get into the playoffs. They could have gone to the playoffs through a tie, but it didn't happen. It came down to the very end of the regular season. So I think every game in the regular season should be taken seriously. And by resting your QBs like this in the preseason and then playing very rusty in the first week could be the exact thing that could not get you the last spot in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. Now, of course, I'm not saying that that's going to occur with a team like the Packers and all that, but you never know. Like the Titans, we'll see. That could be the thing that could cost them. So, but moving forward here and to our next segment, the game of the week is the first Thursday night football game that will be entirely on a streaming service on Prime Video, and it will feature the LA Chargers taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs absolutely, like I said earlier, completely destroyed the Cardinals to open up the season. And now, just a few days later, they're doing their home opener against the Chargers, who a lot of people have argued that Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers are the main favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. But also a couple of big things to watch. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is going up against the rough and tough Chargers pass defense, which picked off the Raiders' Derek Carr 3 times. Mahomes opened the season by throwing for 360 yards and 5 touchdowns without an interception for the Cardinals. So I'm really interested to see how that matchup goes with Mahomes and the Chargers defense. Wide receivers Mike Williams and Joshua Palmer will take an added importance after Keenan Allen hurt his hamstring in a season-opening win over the Raiders. And this is for the Chargers side. Williams and Palmer combined for just 5 catches for 15 yards last season. So this could be a very interesting matchup, and especially for the Chargers, this could be the game that says, okay, are they Super Bowl contender worthy? So, Sam, what do you think going into this Thursday night football matchup?
I think this game is going to be so much fun to watch. I mean, you got Mahomes versus Herbert. I mean, this is the people at Amazon are loving this. You're getting an amazing, hopefully a great quarterback duel, perhaps. In your first game with the Michaels and Herb Street on the call. So I think this will be a lot of fun. I think the absence of Keenan Allen is going to be a big difference in this one. I think that's going to be. I think that loss is going to be a bit tough to overcome for LA. And what the Chiefs did last week. I mean, again, on the road coming into Glendale and just steamrolling the heck out of the Cardinals. I mean, I was shocked by that. I was expecting the Cardinals to actually. I wasn't expecting them to win. I was expecting them they would be a bit closer, at least maybe like 2-score game, perhaps maybe even a 1-score game.
It was definitely that type of game of our expectations were low, but holy crap. Like that's how it was for Cardinal fans.
Yeah, pretty much. So and I mean the Chiefs are going to be at home in this one. I think the Chiefs are going to use that momentum from that incredible game last week that they had. They're going to be at Arrowhead. I think this is going to be a close game, but I think the Chiefs are just going to edge the Chargers out. But I think the Chargers will get very close. And I would rather see the Chargers win, but I think that the Chiefs are going to win this one.
Franklin, what do you make of this?
Yes, this is going to be a very, very interesting game. I think similar to what Sam was saying, the loss to Keenan Allen is going to be a little huge. I think this is going to have to be a defensive type of game for Chargers to have any sort of luck in this. And the thing is, I'm very confident in the Chargers defense. You got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa rushing the passer. They combined for 4.5 sacks last week. That's how good they are. And then you have Asante Samuel and the other person on the other side for the Chargers. I can't think of his name, but you got those two at corner with J.C. Jackson still out, and once he comes back, this is gonna be lights out. And you also still have Derwin James. So the Chargers defense is legit, but I think a key thing that I saw last week with the Chiefs against the Cardinals was Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. And Andy Reid, they did like a hybrid version of what Tom Brady and Bill Belichick did, is where you just dink and dunk your way all the way down the field. You have no idea who's going to get the ball. It's hard to guard Travis Kelce because Andy Reid's positioning him all around the lineup. You have him in the slot, you have him right next to the guard or to the tackle. So you really don't know at any given time who's going to get the ball. And Mahomes is so creative and so mobile that he'll find any way to get the ball out fast and accurate. So I think it's going to be a really tough matchup for LA, especially with, I think, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa won't even have time to get to Mahomes because he'll get the ball out of his hands quick, and the corners are not going to be able to guard a lot of their speed receivers, even though Tyreek Hill's out. So I have the Chiefs winning this one. I think it's going to be somewhere along the lines of like 27 to like 20, something like that. I think Herbert's going to do the best he can, but he's going to do some magic where he's going to make us go, dang, Herbert's legit. But it's not going to be enough.
Wait, so who do you have predicting winning?
I got the Chiefs winning 27-20.
27-20. So do you think it's going to come down to a situation where Mahomes is going to throw a touchdown in the final seconds of the game, and then you don't think so?
No, I think.
But no. Wait, you didn't let me finish. But then they get an interception, they run out of the clock.
Oh, like yes, okay, yeah. I think the Chiefs will score I think the Chiefs will score well before I'd say the 5-minute mark or something.
And when I mean the final seconds of the game, just so you guys know for future heads, literally under 60 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That's
no, I don't see it like that. I see it more so they'll have the lead with 5 minutes to go, and I think the Herbert will have the ball, and then I think the Chiefs defense is going to make a stop. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So, but I don't know. Sam predicted the Bears are going to win, so I don't know what to believe. So,
I mean, he still had the Chiefs winning, right?
Yeah. I got the Chiefs winning.
Well, there we go.
Well, I guess Sam has a crystal ball. So, Sam, what do you think? Your final score predictions and all this.
Okay, final score prediction. I'm gonna say that I got the Chiefs winning this one 28-21.
Oh,
28-21.
You're on the same page.
Okay. You guys are on the same page for this one. This is going to be interesting. And then watch out of nowhere, the Chargers are going to win tonight. So
wait, who do you have winning, Caleb?
With Allen and with Keenan Allen now, I think it's going to be the Chiefs. So if I had to give a final score prediction, I actually like the 27-20 prediction that you gave, Franklin, because like I said, it was literally just as I was talking about. I think they're going to run out the clock, and the Chiefs are going to make that one big stop they need at just the right time to do it. Yeah. Right place, right timing. So I think that's what's going to occur. So, but I will say what?
I'm just hoping Austin Eckler goes off for fantasy purposes, but continue, Caleb.
I will say, as long as the Chargers come close, even if they lose this game, this does not mean that they're not officially a Super Bowl contender unless they get completely blown out. Then I will rethink my whole perspective on the Chargers squad this year. But
these are two of the top teams in the AFC minus Buffalo. So this is legit.
And I will say for Thursday Night Football, this is a dramatic improvement compared to the list of boring games they've had in previous seasons. I think it's maybe because Amazon this is their first time broadcasting the NFL. So this could be interesting. But then you look at the other Thursday Night Football games. They got the Dolphins and Bengals in week 4. I think next week they got...
That's not a bad game.
The Steelers and Browns. Yeah. I mean, they're not bad games, but compared to the Sunday night and Monday night football matchups, those are more watchable. But we'll see. We could be wrong, so we will definitely see. But shifting gears here, so we are a little short on time on our podcast today. Let's talk about the NBA in-season regular tournament. Nothing is set in stone, but we do know that the NBA is in talks of laying down the groundwork of a potential in-season tournament that would happen around November. Kind of similar to how the college basketball tournaments happen right around that time. So according to a report from The Athletic, the NBA would play, quote, cup games throughout the month of December. The 8 teams with the best records in those games would advance to a single elimination tournament in December. The other 22 teams would continue the regular seasons. All in-season tournament games would count as part of the 82-game schedule. The 2 teams that reach the final will end up playing 1 extra game during the regular season, which is 83 total. And another thing we don't know if these games are going to be playing at the home sites like the regular season games, or if this will be entirely neutral site like how the college basketball tournaments go. So that's currently unanswered. I actually would be interested to see that whole tournament take place in Vegas if they go through with this, but that's another conversation. But what do you guys think about this? A lot of people are not happy with this, that the NBA is essentially just going with another money grab opportunity, and the players are just going to give another excuse for more injuries occurring in the regular season and these teams being weak by the actual playoff tournament. So who wants to go first on this?
I'll start off.
Go ahead.
I am kind of on the fan side of this. Don't get me wrong. I understand what the NBA is doing. I kind of see it from the standpoint they're trying to compete with March Madness in a sense of kind of making it a lot more very entertaining, especially in the month of December. It's the holidays, all the families are home. What better way to watch than just an in play tournament, like to see like how scenes go, how the finals will shape up and things like that. However, I do believe, even though it's kind of one extra game, I do believe that is putting wear and tear on players' bodies. The reason why it works for college basketball per se has a lot more to do with they play a lot less games in the NBA, so it's a lot, and not every team makes it to the March Madness. But I do like the standpoint of like I understand what the NBA is doing. I get the premise of what they're doing. I'm not a huge fan of it. It's going to take a lot to like kind of get used to something like that, but we shall see. I like how they're trying it out at least. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but it's like during the COVID year when they came back from the bubble, there was a lot of NBA players complaining that the offseason was rushed, and that was the reason for the so many injuries that occurred in the playoffs that year. And now this essentially gives them that excuse for having an in-season tournament for these players literally playing so hard and wear and tear on their body, as you would say, and that could turn out to be a real nightmare. And Sam, what do you think of this whole idea of a regular season tournament?
So this actually, it's funny. This actually reminds me of kind of how things are done in soccer, especially in European soccer. Because in soccer sometimes there are regular season cup tournaments during the regular season. In England, there's tournaments like the FA Cup or the League Cup, and those are held during just like the Premier League season. Saying that as a Liverpool fan because we took those trophies home, so up the Reds. But yeah, so and I like those. I think those are very fun, in soccer. So I have an optimistic outlook on this. I think this could be fun. Obviously, I'm going to hold my judgment before we actually see it, but I think this could be more fun for the fans. It's always fun to have more basketball, so I think this could be cool. And and hey, if my Mavs win this, then we can hang up a nice banner of NBA regular season tournament cup champions.
All of the memes I see coming with all.
Yeah, exactly.
I can just see the Lakers. I can just see the Lakers winning an in-game tournament, but then losing the finals, and the memes will be going insane.
Yeah, think about it. Don't the Lakers already have enough banners for winning the summer league?
Hey man, they got enough banners with all the championships they got over the years. So, hey man, I can't say anything about the Lakers. Like they're legit.
Speaking of the summer league, I actually wouldn't mind the idea of just doing the tournament for that. So, but I mean,
I agree.
Or how about this idea? How about play the tournament in late January, mid-February, and have that be the replacement to the All-Star game?
Oh,
you might be onto something.
Okay,
that's so crazy. But then again, they won't get an All-Star break then. That's the whole point of an All-Star. You're kind of just...
Well, not everybody will get an All-Star break, but I mean, it would count for like some teams. So, but you got to think about this. Like, what's the whole, like, if there is something on the line, I probably didn't read it, but if you win the regular season title, what do you get? Like an automatic bid into the playoffs, or is it just old-fashioned bragging rights? Like, I don't really see that as an accomplishment. I would rather just not, like, if I could forego playing in that tournament, I would, and save all my energy for the NBA playoffs. I mean, what's the whole idea here? I mean, I don't understand. Maybe the number one, like the top 5 pick in the draft. Like, I don't know. I mean,
honestly, I think it should come down not to the top 8 teams. I think it should be for like the bottom tier teams to see who gets like the top picks in the draft, like you were kind of saying. Instead of it coming down to like the freaking the lotto, the lotto thing. It should be more so, hey, you guys got to play for your pick. You got to
I think that would be awesome.
No, and what's funny, we've talked about this with our friend Marshall, like how the NFL draft rules should go. How about this? Instead of the top 8 teams, how about do a bottom 8 team tournament, replace this with the All-Star game, winner of that tournament gets the number 1 pick.
Bruh.
I am all for that idea.
I think that's awesome.
Much more entertaining than any All-Star game or this tournament that they currently have proposed. I would watch that. Absolutely. So, and that way you wouldn't get the teams trying to sandbag their season, trying to purposely be bad just so they can have the number one odd favorites in the NBA draft lottery.
Real quick, I know we're short on time, but I think of one thing that kind of backfires a little bit from that. The more I thought I could think about it is, what if there's a team that's like just like a playoff team that's just injured up, and then like they go and play these teams and just swipe the floor and get the number one pick? Now you got a playoff team that just gets even better.
Well, now we would have to add more rules on that. But, no. The question is, if they play this tournament, if this officially goes through, like I think they should have this be a neutral site. I mean, at least have it. If you're going to have a neutral site, have it be in Las Vegas because they deserve an NBA team, and that's probably the closest they're going to get to that. Or Seattle, wouldn't that be interesting to be playing at the old Sonics Arena?
Oh, yeah. Anything to get Seattle going again, because I really miss them having a team. It really sucks.
The Sonics, the whole
Now, what would be crazy is if they have it in Seattle, but then the Thunder win the tournament.
Oh, that'd be legendary.
And have Clay Bennett hoist the trophy on the center court. That would be priceless. So that would be very interesting, like must-see TV. So, Oh my gosh, that would be interesting. Well, I wish we could go on more. We got to move on to the next segment. We'll probably talk about this further on in our next episode. But we're going to get into having a little bit of fun here. The sports culture questions of the week. And this week's question with Jimmy Garoppolo, possibly, I mean, who knows? He still is the backup quarterback, not confirmed, but we may get to see him back on the playing field, considering how the Niners have played so far, and if they continue to play like this. But who is the most handsome athlete? And this doesn't just have to be in the NFL; it can be in any sport.
Oh,
who is the most handsome athlete? The one that can get away with a lot on his team because of his looks. So that's what I mean by that. But and. Please don't tell me you're going to say Jimmy G, Franklin.
Nope. Now that we
okay. Sam, we'll go to you first.
Okay.
So, who is the most handsome athlete? The one that can get away with a lot because of his looks.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with the guy that everyone knows, and I'm going to go with the guy who's able to attract some dang good looking women. I'm going to go with the GOAT himself. TB12 Tom Brady.
Whoa! He's married, isn't he?
Yeah, he's married to a freaking supermodel.
Well, yes. I mean,
have you seen Giselle?
that is Nicole.
Holy cow!
Okay. Give me some.
And I like the fact that they also mentioned able to get away with stuff. Well, I mean, come on. We've all watched Patriots and Buccaneers games over the years, and we know that they've definitely gotten some help with from the refs. Brady's definitely gotten some help over the years. So I mean, maybe it's just because he's the most handsome man in sports. Maybe that's why.
Oh no, he doesn't. He still gets a lot of slack from the media. Like Frank brought up this point about Jimmy G. It's like all of a sudden Jimmy G will throw like 3 interceptions in a game, and the Niners will barely get past and win the game. But yet the media will not give him any slack about it because it's like, how can you punch that face? Like that. That's how much Jimmy G gets away with it, and I don't have those same feelings for Brady. If Brady loses a game, the media will be all over him like, oh my gosh, you lost. How does that feel? Like they'll absolutely be all over him. I mean, we'll see. I will say, seeing Brady at that Super Bowl party with the Bucs, him tossing the Lombardi trophy and him on tequila was the most funniest thing I have ever seen. That is handsome. Oh, yeah. So, but Franklin, we'll let you go next. Who's the most handsome athlete? The one that gets away with a lot.
Okay, so I was going to say Jimmy Garoppolo. But if we're going based on the whole entire spectrum of sports.
Who basically gets away with anything because of his looks.
Easy money. Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm telling
you, man. That man is charming as hell. Like I'm just throwing it out there. But he is one of if not the best soccer player to ever play the game, and he is a really good family man. And all the little kids look up to him. I think that's an easy answer. Cristiano Ronaldo. Dude looks like a freaking trophy.
Yeah,
that dude is a trophy. In fact,
Literally.
What's interesting is all these sports leagues, like the NBA. You know how they have was it Jerry West is in the logo? If FIFA were to have a logo like that would feature a player, it would probably be Ronaldo's player frame. So
yes,
I would agree with that. But Franklin, that's a really good pick. I love it a lot.
That's awesome.
That I didn't see that coming, a soccer pick. Here are some other honorable mentions. I'm surprised didn't even come up. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you got to at least admit though that hair does something for a team that barely wins all season with the Jags. And I mean, let's face it, a lot of people will just point the blame at Urban Meyer because they don't want to blame the dude with the long hair. That's amazing. JJ Redick, Christian Leitner, and why not Clay Matthews from the Packers, who we haven't heard in the conversation for years. That dude is amazing. He's also got the long hair.
Wait, it could be ex players?
Well, of all time, yeah, that have played.
Oh wow. Okay.
Probably should have stated that, but
I still have Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't like.
What about Gronk?
Gronk?
That dude has a personality.
Are we just going from handsome? Are we just going based off looks or like?
Yeah, looks.
Just looks.
Yes.
Oh man, Cristiano Ronaldo is a billion times over Gronk. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that one. But
disrespect to Gronk's good looking. But I'm just saying.
All right, Franklin, I'll give you this one. Ronaldo, it is. You win this one. Congrats.
Thank you.
Pulling that pick right out of the bag. We had no plans to talk about soccer.
Honestly,
today, so.
the way Sam was talking, I was like, is he about to steal my pick? Because he was saying the GOAT himself, and I wasn't even thinking Brady. I'm like, oh, he's going to say Ronaldo. Damn it, I got to think of my plan.
Oh my gosh, I've seen people go crazy for Ronaldo. Like, literally, have you seen that viral video, that video gamer? Like, where he gets the street card, he's like, oh my gosh, I got Ronaldo! And just accidentally destroys his TV with the chair. That's how much craze there is for Ronaldo, and I'm sure he's going to have a very memorable FIFA World Cup, which we will talk about further down the line because the World Cup is coming up here very, very soon.
Yes, it is.
Franklin, congratulations on winning this and winning something. So you definitely pulled something out of the bag for sure. But moving on to this next segment that I don't think you're going to have a lot of great luck for, the box draw. Nebraska Cornhuskers head coach Scott Frost was fired after a very disappointing start to the season for the Cornhuskers. Now, the question is, who should be the new permanent, this is not interim, permanent head coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers going forward? And since this is a box draw, you guys will have to pick from my number 1 through 7. There are 7 mystery answers. I'll eventually reveal all of them.
Dang.
There are 7 mystery answers just to make it fair. Some of them make sense. Some of them literally do not make any sense at all. So good luck on this. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Let's
all right. You have a number. Let's see. 1 through 7. Who's it going to be? What number?
I'll go 3.
3. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're getting thrown under the bus for this one for sure.
Oh no. All
right. Let me see. I'm gonna private message you. All right. Franklin, 1 through 7, excluding 3 now.
5.
5. Okay. 1 through. Oh. Okay. This might be interesting.
Okay.
Surprised you guys didn't pick any of the answers that make sense to who have been previous coaches, but the answers that you guys are getting, these guys have no coaching experience at all. So
okay.
All right. Who wants to go first now? To start out the box draw, you guys have 1 refutation, basically, or actually more of, I guess, a rebuttal, saying your answer and why over the other, and then you'll have another part to defend it. So, Franklin, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Who should be the new Cornhuskers head coach?
Easy money. A player that literally was one of the best quarterbacks in this generation. That will be Peyton Manning. And I'll explain why. Peyton Manning is one of the greatest college quarterbacks to ever play the game when he played at Tennessee. Is one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks to ever play the game. Dude is an offensive machine on the field, was a coach on the field, knows offenses from left and right. Believe whoever the next quarterbacks for Nebraska moving forward is going to be, is they're going to have a great fundamental work with one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. I actually think the program is going to be heading to the top with Peyton Manning, mainly because of his intellect, mainly because of his decision making on the field. I don't know if anybody saw the Manning cast, but that man was calling timeout for Nathaniel Hackett 62 times before he elected to call a timeout and kick a 65-yard field goal with 20 seconds left. So that goes to show you he should be a head coach already. I'm just letting you know right now, Peyton Manning, with his intellect, with his rings, with his history, will have Nebraska go on top, and it'll bring a lot of revenue, a lot of money to the program. Nebraska's going to be on top again if Peyton Manning becomes head coach.
Well, I guess that's a fair assumption because it's not like he's coaching like the NFL team here. So college wouldn't be a bad place to start. So, yeah, but
he'll be one of the highest paid coaches out the gate, without question.
Maybe I feel like it would be more of a PR stunt because look at it this way: Wayne Gretzky, who is one of the greatest hockey players of all time, ended up being a coach for the Coyotes, and we all know how that turned out. So I could see that being the same situation here.
But that's a professional team. This is college. This is different.
Yes, it is college. You got me there. All right, Sam, who should be the new coach of the Cornhuskers?
Well, let me tell you, when this guy comes to coach for Nebraska, the Cornhuskers are going to be feeling lucky because, yes, the coach that should be for the Cornhuskers needs to be Andrew Luck, one of the greatest college football quarterbacks of all time, Stanford Cardinal legend. Listen. For the Cornhuskers have not had a double-digit winning season since 2012. It's been 10 years since they've had a season with double-digit wins. Andrew Luck is the kind of guy that can get you there. And look, he went to Stanford too. To get into Stanford, you got to be smart. You got to know your stuff. So Andrew Luck, he's going to have the brains as well. I think he has the mind. He has the mind for a coach. And then he also is just one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. I mean, if you look at his awards, at his accomplishments, what he did at Stanford, absolutely incredible stuff. So him returning to the college game to help get Nebraska out of their misery. I mean, I could see it happening. And it could be one of the greatest stories in sports. I mean, come on, let's be real here. That would be awesome.
I mean, it's a good take, especially since both of you chose picks of former quarterbacks who have never had any coaching experience. The difference is with Sam's answer is Andrew Luck had more experience in the college game than the NFL. So he has a good defending point here. So Franklin, I'll give you 10 seconds to respond to that. Both of you 10 seconds to respond why your answer is better than the other. And then we'll have a official decision here. But why Manning? Why should I pick Manning over Luck for the new head coaching job? If I was the president of Nebraska.
It's Peyton freaking Manning, Caleb. That's all I have to say. That is this is a top 3 quarterback of all time. There's nothing to say here. I think a lot of quarterbacks that come into Nebraska are going to be lucky to be able to be coached by Peyton Manning. It's similar to what Deion Sanders is with Jackson State, with all those corners that are coming out of there. I'm just saying, it could be Nebraska could be a quarterback home for the foreseeable future.
Okay. Sam, why Luck over Manning?
Well, if Manning becomes the coach, there's going to be way too many eyes on the program. There's going to be too much pressure on those kids now being coached by Peyton Manning, and it would just become the Peyton Manning show. it would be like the Manning cast. It would just be all about Peyton. If Luck goes in there, yeah, there's going to be a bit of a spotlight, but it won't be as much as it would be if it's Peyton. And Andrew Luck, he knows the college game more. So I think he would be a way better pick to be coach than Peyton Manning.
I feel like both have a lot of college experience. To be fair, I think both played 4 years. If I'm not mistaken, Andrew Luck played 4 years, right? Did he play 3 years? But yeah, no, I would say Peyton Manning might have a little bit more on the front of like college experience, and then you factor that in with him being a future Hall of Famer. I'm just saying.
No. Listen, Andrew Luck. I think here's the thing about him. It's the fact that he's been away. He has been away from just the game of football for
Peyton
quite a while now. So it's like, listen. Here's my point: is that him making this return? He's going to be motivated. He, like we haven't seen him, and that's the amazing thing. He's going to want to build this program.
My last rebuttal.
I will say,
my last rebuttal. It's only 5 seconds. Peyton Manning actually has his own film video on ESPN Plus that he does. He knows he still studies film. He's going to be really good for these young up and coming players during film study in college. I'm just saying.
Okay. How do you know that Andrew Luck doesn't do the same thing? The difference is Peyton Manning does it in front of a TV camera.
Yeah, for Peyton, it's gonna be all about the attention. It's gonna be all about the money.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pressure to live up to. And, you mentioned both of them stepped away from the game. The difference is Andrew Luck, he didn't just step away from the game. Peyton Manning did. They're still involved with TV, with the Manning cast, the College Bowl, all of that. Andrew Luck went completely into the private sector. Like, he wanted to get away from that attention. So I think if he were to go in a head coaching position, there wouldn't be a lot of pressure to live up to compared to Manning, the Manning brand, And I think that would crash and burn. And it's for that reason I give Sam the win today for the box draw. So congratulations. I think Sam is 2-0 in the box draw.
2-0 in the box draw.
Caleb, if you have time, I want you to answer a question with one of my answers.
This better be quick. Go ahead.
It can be quick.
Okay.
Buckle up, Sam.
Who I think should be the new Cornhuskers head coach is Mr. Johnny Football, the money man himself, Johnny Manziel. All right.
Yes.
This dude is all about the money. Let's take into account the whole NIL deal scenario. Okay. This guy wants his players to make money just as much as he wanted to make money. So I think he'll play a huge role in that, especially settling the whole NIL rowdy chaos. I think he would really help putting together a football team that is not only successful on the field, but is also getting paid to do what they do off the field. How's that sound?
That was good.
Pretty good.
There we go. All right. I will reveal it. So let me tell you guys the answers you guys didn't pick. Number 1, Urban Meyer.
I mean, that wouldn't have been bad.
No, he has talked about going to Nebraska or Arizona State if one of those coaches got fired, and one of them did. Number 2 was Kevin Sumlin.
Ooh.
Yeah. Number 3 is Andrew Luck, which Sam picked that one. Number 4 was Bruce Arians.
Okay.
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 I can see that.
Number 5 was Peyton Manning. And number 6 was Les Miles. And number 7, number 7's the last one, is Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay. No. The offense would be lit, but I don't know if they'd be winning.
For sure. That's all the answers. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. But Sam is officially 2-0. So congrats to you, Sam. Well, we have to wrap it up a bit because we literally have to head to Chase Field to cover a DVAC game tonight. But final thoughts here going into this week, and the Chargers and Chiefs play tonight, which is very exciting. The Cardinals, I believe, they're playing the Raiders this Sunday, right? On the road. which I think would be a huge test. And of course, we got the Packers and the Bears. What could be, I mean, assuming Rodgers does officially retire, the start of the final chapter with Rodgers versus that Bears fan base. So it's going to be very interesting. And also, I want to give another honorable mention. That Seahawks-Broncos game was very interesting. I don't know who did that post-game interview with all I have to say is, let's ride, completely jabbing Wilson. That was a kind of very entertaining game. And I'll admit, Geno Smith and the Seahawks pulled off something magical in that game. So that was very interesting. But final thoughts for you guys as we sign off until next week.
Well, all I have to say from that Seahawks-Broncos game was that wasn't even the best quote from the end of the game. The best quote came from Geno Smith when he said, "They wrote me off, but I didn't write back." I was like, yes.
I don't know how I forgot about that, but yeah, I will say that was a great quote. Oh my gosh, the Seattle fans threw some major shade. Like, it's not like Wilson. I say, what was the whole? Remember that LeBron James like decision TV special where he went to Miami? It's not like Wilson did that. Like, he made this like a gigantic television special that he was going to Denver. It literally just leaked out in the media when the news came out he was going to go to Denver and all that. But I'm sure there was no hard feelings. That's just business.
Yeah, I mean, like, the difference is I think LeBron left in free agency and Russell Wilson wanted to get traded. And he made that he made that clear a lot. So it's like that was the reason why. I think he shouldn't have got booed. I think that was ridiculous. He's their greatest quarterback in their history.
Wilson gave him a Super Bowl title here.
No, he's the greatest quarterback in their history. He should not have gotten booed.
I will say though, during that whole trade debacle, like there was the times like where he mentioned like, oh, these are the teams I want to get traded to. Like I think it was like one of them was
the Giants were one of them.
The Giants, all that. That's essentially the same thing of, hey, I don't want to break up with my girlfriend, but I do. These are the list of girls I want. That's essentially what Wilson did.
That's so effed up.
I know, but that's essentially what Wilson did in this whole trade scenario. So I will admit, I guess I can understand some shade from the Seattle fans being hurt like that he wanted to leave the Seahawks. But it's more of like one of those teams like you can't really strike lightning in the bottle twice. He's been on there as long as he could, and I think that run is over. It's like with OBJ and the Browns. Like, just let him go, man. It's not going to work. And so I think it was kind of best for both sides to just part ways. I don't think the Seattle fans should have thrown him shade, though. I thought that was kind of rude. So, Sam, final thoughts going into this weekend?
Well, I'm excited to play the Packers. Obviously, I'm hoping for an upset there. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but it would be nice. And then, we'll have to see if the ASU can bounce back from the tough loss in Stillwater. Take down at Eastern Michigan. So,
yeah, not a good week for Arizona football, man. Both the Cardinals and Sun Devils had poor.
Not a good week. Not a good
week. I will say though that Bears Packers games, I hate that I'm predicting this, but I wouldn't be shocked if a fight breaks out on the field after the game because these two teams have both thrown shade at each other.
I'm telling you, especially after the "I still own you," man. I know the Bears players have not forgotten about that. I'm telling you, they have not. Forgotten.
We haven't.
They really hate that comment. I know they do.
Oh yeah.
My gosh, we will see what happens. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. But we'll see. So, but other than that, that's going to do it for the CTS Sports Podcast. We'll be back once again next Thursday right here on our YouTube channel. But that is going to do it for Franklin Miller and Sam Valenti. I'm Caleb Bushy signing off for now.